Ikari means angry, and that's definitely what this game will make you feel. It's the first Famicom game brought to us by K Amusement Rentals. As a game publisher, they seem to have vanished off the face of the earth after the Famicom era. The only things that you can find online about them are that they publish Famicom games. Going by the name, it does make them sound like an arcade machine distributor. And since they published quite a few ports of SNK games, it's likely that there was some kind of relationship there, even though SNK is already publishing games on the system. Maybe they were the company that SNK dumped the bad games onto. Ikari started out in the arcades as a run-and-gun shooter in the style of Commando. Its big claim to fame was a rotary joystick, where you turned the joystick in order to aim. I actually found these systems to be pretty annoying in the arcade. In the home version, at least, you can just point yourself in a direction and shoot. And I think that's the last positive thing I'm going to say about Ikari. The story of the game is that Ralph and Clark have to trudge through the jungle to get to an enemy super weapon. Their names were changed to Paul and Vince in the US version, though I'm not sure that's an improvement. They'll gun down enemy soldiers by the ton, drive some tanks, shoot up some fortifications, and eventually reach a pair of super tanks that they have to take out. The Famicom version's actually much longer than the arcade version. And while the arcade version was considered to be very easy, the Famicom version is decidedly not. In fact, I'd put it in the top 3 Famicom games that are tough to beat without using a cheat code. But there is a cheat code, one of the more well-known ones too. When you run out of lives, but before the game over screen appears, press ABBA, and you'll continue exactly where you left off. The action in Ikari is slower paced than that in Commando, but they make up for it by being more annoying. You have a limited number of bullets. You can't just fire wildly or you'll run out. What you'll have to do is keep an eye out for these red guys, because when you kill them, they drop something. Similarly, bunkers and tanks may also drop some power-ups. Picking up the gun, or the gas can while you're on foot, will give you some of your bullets back. The F increases your bullet's damage, the L increases the range, and the S increases the rate of fire. Naturally, you lose all power-ups when you die, so you won't be holding on to any of those for very long. You also have a pretty large supply of grenades, and those grenades are actually one of the more annoying things in Ikari. Your own throw is pretty weak, but the enemy's throw is stronger, and their explosion radius is much bigger. There's a lot of situations where it's effectively impossible to kill an enemy grenader without getting killed yourself. If you get the B, then that powers up your grenade's explosion to be the same radius. The most important power-up for you, though, is the tank. Sometimes they'll just be sitting around empty, and sometimes when you blow up an enemy tank, a friendly one will be left behind. I actually found interacting with the tanks to be kind of tricky. You get in one by walking over it and pressing A, and you can get out again by holding down A and pressing B. And you'll want to get out when the tank is about to explode. But I often had trouble getting out of the tank again when it was about to explode. Sometimes the game just wouldn't respond. And even if you do get out, you might not have enough time to run away from the explosion. The tank's fuel is its life meter. When that runs out, it'll explode. Naturally, you can replenish the fuel by picking up gas cans. There's other power-ups that the tank can use too. The F turns the shot into a missile that penetrates things, and the B makes the explosion much larger. You can also aim the tank turret by holding down the A button and pointing in the direction you want to aim. Using the tank is really the only way that you can make progress in Ikari. And there's areas where if you lose it, then you're probably not going to survive. You can also get into a helicopter, though I got shot down immediately, so it didn't seem like it was much use. The rule of thumb for combat in Ikari is to use your bullets when there's people, and throw grenades at everything else. You'll take out most things in one hit with a grenade, including tanks and these doors that block your path. You'll also have to use grenades when soldiers are placed just out of reach. We're going to see 2 sequels to Ikari come out on the Famicom. They're both improvements on this game, but not by that much. This Ikari is a real slog to play. It's both slow and long, too difficult with not enough going on. I didn't enjoy Commando, but it was worlds better than this. Maybe the best feature it has is the 2-player simultaneous mode, but that feels like it's just spreading the pain around.